There's a particular kind of frustration that doesn't come from lack of ability, but from unused ability, from knowing you could do more, understand more, become more, and still feeling strangely stationary. This frustration is common among intelligent people, and it's not because they're incapable. It's because intelligence, when misused, becomes one of the most effective forms of self-sabotage. Smart people don't usually fail loudly. They stall, but quietly. They read more. They think more. They analyze more. They consider more angles, more risks, more perspectives. And on the surface, this looks responsible, mature, even admirable. But underneath it all, something dangerous is happening. Movement is being replaced by contemplation. Intelligence becomes a hiding place. The mind is very good at protecting the ego. And for intelligent people, the ego is often tied to being right, being insightful, being perceptive. Action threatens that identity because action produces results, and results can contradict your self-image. So instead of moving forward and risking imperfection, the smart mind stays busy, it stays abstract, it stays hypothetical. It stays just close enough to action to feel productive, but far enough away to avoid exposure. This is how people get stuck while feeling busy. If you're a highly intelligent person out there and you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. I've spent most of my life inside my head, studying, thinking, understanding how things work. And for a long time, I mistook that for progress. This is part 4 of a 7-part transition on my channel, where I stop talking about action and start building in public. Overthinking is not depth. It's hesitation dressed up as sophistication. True thinking leads to decisions. False thinking loops endlessly and calls itself nuance. And the longer this loop continues, the more convincing it becomes. You start to believe that clarity must come first, that certainty is required, that once you understand enough, the next step will feel obvious and easy. But clarity does not precede action. Clarity follows action. This is one of the hardest truths for analytical people to accept. It took me a long time. The mind wants guarantees. Life doesn't offer them. Most of what matters is discovered only after you begin, not before. Smart people often wait for confidence, but confidence is not a prerequisite for action. It's a byproduct of surviving action. Waiting for it is like waiting to get fit before going to the gym. Another trap intelligent people fall into is identity protection. As long as you haven't fully tried, you haven't fully failed. As long as the idea stays theoretical, it stays perfect. The moment you act, reality gets involved, and reality's messy. So the mind creates reasons to delay. It says the timing isn't right, conditions aren't ideal, more information is needed. But beneath all of that is a simpler truth. Acting would force a confrontation with limits, and that confrontation is uncomfortable. There's also a social element to this. Smart people are often praised early in life for their potential, not their output. They become used to recognition without completion, and over time, this trains them to associate thinking with worth and doing with risk. But the world doesn't reward potential. Another subtle way intelligence keeps people stuck is through complexity. The smart mind can make anything complicated. It can add layers, frameworks, and exceptions until movement feels irresponsible. But complexity is often avoidance with the better vocabulary. Progress usually comes from simplifying, not expanding. Here's a rule that cuts through all of this. If you can explain something endlessly, but you haven't acted on it, you don't understand it yet, because understanding is demonstrated through use. Smart people also tend to fear being average. Ironically, this fear keeps them from becoming exceptional, because excellence requires repetition, and repetition requires humility. You have to be willing to be bad at something longer than your ego wants to tolerate. Action is humbling, but thinking is flattering. This is why many intelligent people feel a strange mix of superiority and frustration. They can see flaws everywhere, in systems, in others, in society, but feel powerless in their own life. Critique replaces creation. Observation replaces participation. And over time, bitterness sets in. The solution is not to stop thinking. It's to stop worshiping thinking. Thought is a tool. It's not a refuge. If you want to break this pattern, adopt a simple operating principle. When you feel the urge to think more, act smaller. Take a step so small, it feels almost insulting to your intelligence, but take it immediately. Send the message, make the call, start the draft, publish the idea, but begin before you feel ready. What comes next isn't theory, it's real moves, starting from zero, taking risks, getting things wrong. And this episode really matters, because before you can act differently, you have to see how intelligence keeps you stuck. For years, my thinking felt like work, but it wasn't. It was protection. And this video is about why smart people stall, and why I'm done doing that. Because readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. Another useful rule is this. If you've been thinking about something for more than a week without acting, you're not deciding, you're avoiding. At that point, action becomes the only honest move. Smart people don't need more insight. They need more exposure, more contact with reality, more feedback, more friction. Reality corrects faster than thought ever will. Once you begin acting, something important happens. Your thinking improves. It becomes grounded, precise, useful. Instead of circling endlessly, it starts serving a direction. And that's when intelligence becomes an asset again, instead of a trap. The tragedy is not that smart people fail. It's that many never truly begin. They spend their lives just outside the arena, explaining why things are the way they are, while others with less insight, but more courage, move right past them. If this resonates with you, don't analyze it further. You'd be missing the point. Instead, move. Do the thing you've been preparing for endlessly. Do it imperfectly. Do it visibly. Let reality answer you instead of your thoughts. Because intelligence should accelerate your life, not become the reason it never starts. If you found our talk useful today, please share it with a friend. And like and subscribe, it supports the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.